Handle your high with Tadayoshi. And we're right. Hey, welcome to the show, my friend. Hey, it's great to have you on the new podcast, Guy. I really appreciate you taking the time. We had a hard time getting our schedules figured out, but that's okay. You're a busy guy. That's good.
Two busy people.
That's good, though. That's good. You work out late. Like I used to work out later in the evening. Do you like doing that?
Yeah, I'm normally like a 6:30 kind of guy, but it's actually been progressively later. I've just been so busy with stuff throughout the day. Like I normally go to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning because I get a lot of work done at night because like the phones kind of don't go off.
That's right. It's like me.
So I tend to get a lot of work done from like 11 to 2 and then go to bed. The older I got and the more like, I've grown in the bodybuilding world, the more busier I get and the less sleep that I get.
Isn't that weird how it works that way?
I never thought I could actually function on as little sleep as I do.
They say the average studies show like the average American gets about 5 hours, 5 to 5.5 hours of sleep on average.
Yeah,
and that's about average. Like we need about 8, and I barely. No.
When I was in my 20s, I could sleep for 10 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of my friends can sleep like rocks. Like Sean Roden can sleep 23 out of 24 hours a day.
Oh my gosh. Well, gosh, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Horrible.
Well, I used to be that way when I was in college. When I stressed out, like even now today, when I get stressed out, I just want to sleep. I want to fucking think about this shit later.
See, I can't even take a nap because I can't ever just shut down.
Is your brain always working?
Yeah, man, it don't stop. It's so bad.
In some ways, it's good. I think people who are highly intelligent tend to do that. It's like everyone. I've seen these interviews with like Elon Musk and like you name it. These really highly intelligent people. And yeah, man, they're just constantly going and
so bad.
Yeah,
so bad.
What keeps you like? What are the things that you normally think about? Is it business or is it?
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's business. It's like, I got to do like this diet tomorrow. I have this guy competing. I have to order this amount of shirts. I'm out of hats. I got to travel to Europe for 13 days. Who's going to take care of the dogs? I got to get dog food. I got to make sure my mail's taken care of because I live by myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's just me and my dog. So.
What kind of dog do you got? I don't know. I can't believe I see.
I don't know if you can see him. They're right. I got one right there.
Oh, hey, puppy. He's like, hey, dude, what's up?
Back. I don't know if you can see her.
Oh yeah. Is that a pit bull?
Yeah, I got 2 pits.
Oh, cool. I miss my pit, man. We had one, and we gave it away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it was my girlfriend's really, and I have a Rottweiler. He's sleeping right here, down here below. And that's Conan. He's awesome. I love him. But we had a pit bull. He was a beautiful dog, but she just couldn't take care of him, and I was not inclined to take care of all the animals all the time. It's like
my one I just had on the 6th of March. She blew. Well, not that day. That day she had surgery. She blew her knee to pieces.
Oh, how'd you do that?
So she had a full knee surgery. They had to reconstruct her ACL.
Oh my gosh!
Shaved the groove of her kneecap to where the kneecap sits because she had a subluxing patella. So every time we go outside, she's got to be walked. I had to carry her up and down stairs. So it's like, and I'm single and I single meaning I live by myself and I don't have anybody really around besides friends. Like my parents live an hour and 20 minutes from me. So it's hard. I do all this myself and it's like being a single parent.
It is. Now, you weren't always single, right?
I was married.
Yeah, I thought so.
When I say single, I mean like I'm single, meaning I'm not married.
Right.
Yeah, I was married to a fitness competitor for years, Bethany Wagner.
Bethany, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but me and her, we maintain a friendship. We've been very, very good friends since our divorce. We're better off as friends, and she's a great person, great competitor.
How long ago was that? How did that happen? I don't keep up with all the.
We got divorced. I think it was going on 4 years ago.
Okay, so it was about
2015.
Okay, so it was like a year. I think it was like a year and a half before my divorce.
Yeah, it wasn't. And I'm glad. Like a lot of people can't understand it, and I've had girlfriends that don't understand it, and because they get mad that you so ex, but I'm like. It's different. She's not like an ex-girlfriend. She's an ex-wife. Like when you have that, when you exchange those vows, like that changes the complexity of your relationship. So you have a different respect for that person. And we just get along. Like if I need something, I could call her anytime, any day, and she would do it because we still, you know, I love her like a best friend, and some people just don't understand it, and I get it to an extent. But at the end of the day, like I can't force myself to not like hair.
No. You know? Well, you know, I've explained like this. I've been married twice, and I'm still great, wonderful friends with both my ex-wives, especially my first wife. I was married to her for 10 years, and Bernadette, my last wife, for almost 7 years. And I'll tell you, like, I loved them enough to marry them. I loved them enough to be their friend.
Yes.
And that's the way I describe it, because I totally understand where you're coming from. Some people don't get it, and it's almost as if when it comes to relationships, when people break up, whether they be married or whether they're just dating, they want to be enemies. Like that, if you can't love each other, you got to be enemies. Yeah. I don't get that. Like, to me, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't need any more enemies.
I feel like if there's boundaries that are set, like just like a friendship, I don't see what the problem is. But
yeah, well, I agree.
I feel like if that person never, like, if I don't cross the boundary, she doesn't cross the boundary, then I don't see it, you know, then she's just a friend, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, I see it both ways, but I've had battles.
Well, I think there's a dynamic that, like, you obviously have a good relationship with, and I think it starts maybe perhaps with the foundation of what it starts with and what you built your marriage and your relationship around, and so you can carry that with you into a friendship. If it's sometimes everything is invested in. You don't have any children with her, do you? No,
I have no children at all.
Okay, is that something you want? Just out of curiosity?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just turned 37 last week. I don't know if kids are going to be in the cards.
I said the same thing, and my daughter. I was 39 when I had her. So
yeah. I just listen. If it was up to me, I'd have 2 or 3 kids already. I don't. You know, and listen, I want kids very badly. I went to school to be a teacher. I love kids. I love teaching. I love talking to kids. But if it's not in the cards, and I hate saying this because I swore I would never say this. I really did. But there's so much, like, and as positive as I try to be, there's so much bad that happens on a day-to-day basis. I would be upset if I didn't have kids, because I really do. But in the same breath, like, if I didn't have kids, I would be okay with it.
Right.
Because, I mean, every time I turn on the TV, something's getting blown up. A mosque is getting shot up. Who killed this one? It's just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, I live on 2.5 acres by myself in a house, colonial, and like, I have nothing, but I can't see my neighbors besides the one across the street. Like, I'm good. I'm good here.
I like that. You know, I totally agree. Sometimes I think I heard somebody talk about this. I think it was on Joe Rogan's podcast. You were talking about all the bad stuff in the world, and it was a really intelligent thing to remark on, that it can be oftentimes perceived there's so much bad stuff going on, but really there's a lot more good stuff going on. We're just so exposed to all this bad stuff because that's what the news wants to report. That's what people want to talk about and report on and blast out there on their social media. They want to do all the negative stuff sometimes. And I think we hear all the stuff that's going, all the bad stuff going on, because our news stations and places and outlets want to think that's newsworthy. That's the only thing we want to hear. I've often argued, man, I would love to start a news station that focused only on positive stories, just positive stories, uplifting stories about joy and love and people helping each other and good things.
That's the problem is people like to watch negative shit.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Like, think about it. Think about Instagram. What will get more views? A couple that, let's say somebody that, like, a couple got, like, split somehow and then reunited after 20 years, but somebody getting kicked in the dick. Like, right, exactly. People is going to watch the person get, it's just, that's how we operate. We always like to see the bad shit.
I know. I was actually kind of funny. 2 seconds before we got on the phone call, I was scrolling through my news feed on Instagram, and I rarely scroll through my feed because I don't like scrolling through the feed. It's like you find yourself like an hour later still scrolling. Yeah. And I saw this. Somebody posted some funny rodeo thing. They have this rodeo thing where they got this bull with these horns that are curved this way, and they have people from the audience come out and stand in these circles where this bull comes and just blasts them. And I'm like going, that looks like it fucking hurts, man.
You watched it, right?
Yeah, of course I watched it. I I'm like, I got to see these people get nailed, and they were just getting cracked. But yeah, I totally get what you mean. Yeah, you're probably right. I think we have that voyeuristic sort of, that sort of strange voyeuristic. We want to see the strange shit, the unusual stuff, the stuff that perks our interest or titillates us.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, listen, it is funny watching that shit, but you know, I mean, I would love to have kids. I mean, I just, I think. And my parents know. I think my parents know I'm upset more than my brother and my sister because I think they know how much I've always wanted kids. And like my brother and my sister were never like, oh my God, like we want to have kids. And I was always like, I can't wait to have kids. And I'm the one with no kids.
But they have children, right?
My sister has 3. My brother has 2.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Now, you're the eldest or the?
I'm the middle.
The middle? Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Godfather of my brother's first one, Cash. I'm the godfather of my sister's first one, who is Joseph. And then I'm also the godfather of Sean Roden's daughter, Cora.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Me and Sean are like best friends. I'm also the godfather of my buddy. My buddy has fucking triplet girls.
Oh, my gosh. Good luck to him.
Yes, so I'm the godfather of them. So I don't have kids, but I have a lot of, you know, close nieces and nephews and godkids. So it's
that would almost make you want it more sometimes, I think.
Yeah, man, I love being around my nieces and nephews. We have a blast.
Hey, man, I can tell you that's nothing like it. Changes your life. I know everybody says that, but that's interesting. I didn't know you you said you got a degree in education. Is that what you studied to be a teacher? You said?
Yeah, I went to school to be a history. I have a history background.
History, really? Oh, yeah,
wow. See, that's the thing is like people that would see me lifting weights are like, oh, fucking typical meathead, you know, blah blah. But then you're like, oh, and then people are always like, oh, you have a degree. What do you have a degree? And you a gym teacher. You know, and people think that like us bodybuilders can't have any sort of educational background.
Hey, I know people are always surprised when I tell them I have a degree in philosophy and I went to seminary and I studied theology. Of course, if you know me, people know the kind of conversations I have and kind of person, so it's obvious. But yeah, for years, I think I got 3 comments when I would work with people from the get-go. They would say, especially the ladies, they would say, oh, wow, you're a lot nicer than I thought you'd be, and you're a lot smarter than I thought you'd be. I'm like, man, would you think I'd be mean and dumb? It's like, it's must because you're big and kind of intimidating looking.
Yeah, of course.
So I get that.
Ridiculous.
But
people still judge a book by its cover to this day.
So now, did you how did that happen? And what did you decide once you got involved in bodybuilding, became successful in doing this? You just kind of abandoned it, or what?
Well, I started right out of college. I was in college. I put myself through college. I played football all through college. Worked 40 hours a week all through college. Got my degree, and right out of college, I got hired working for HSBC, which is we're doing mortgages. And I was making a lot more than a teacher right out of college. I think starting salary for a teacher was like 39 or 40 when I graduated in 2005. And, I didn't want to go being a teacher because when you're a teacher, like, you're kind of stuck at that salary unless you get your master's, unless you coach sports, which I obviously wanted to coach. But normally coaching a sport, if you're not a head coach, is like $2,000 to $3,000.
Right.
And I was right out of college making, $70,000, $80,000 a year.
You're like, hey,
I don't want to go back to being to teaching. But then I got laid off. The whole subprime division from HSBC called Beneficial shut down. And I ended up being unemployed because I was collecting unemployment. And I was teaching full-time, meaning I was subbing at different schools. One school I was at almost every day. And
in New York or in?
No, in Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah. So I subbed at a school in Fairlawn very, very often. And I actually enjoyed being around the kids, and their kids respected me. The teachers respected me. I had teachers that were teaching there for 20 years come to my room and ask me to go to their room to get their kids in order. Because you're a kid and you're in high school and you see like a little skinny teacher or a girl, teacher, you're always like, you always want to get one over on them. But then like a teacher that has authority walks in and you don't say a word.
So did the bodybuilding help?
Oh, yeah. Nobody gave me a problem. But I did get turned off in a lot of ways because I'm a big pen and paper guy. Like I have my journal like when I diet on my table, I write
Nice.
in it. I don't keep notes in my phone. But now all the teaching is iPads
Right.
and this and technology. And I told somebody the other day, I said, I think teaching is going to be obsolete soon enough because you don't really need teacher in a classroom. You have a computer, Google. I can probably see a lot of these things happening from people's homes and kids not even having to go to school if they even have teaching, because you can be a heart surgeon
Right.
by watching a YouTube channel.
Somebody else.
So it's like a lot of this stuff I think is going to be obsolete in years to come. Maybe not why I'm still alive, but.
Well, you're absolutely right. I heard somewhere that like 90% of the data traffic on the web in the next 10 to 15 years is going to be all mostly video stuff. It's like immense. Like it's really blown up. Like between Netflix, YouTube, all these streaming technologies, and these days it's kind of interesting though. It is interesting when you think about it. Like when I was growing up and when you was growing up. If we wanted to learn something, we went to the library, read a book, asked some people. Yeah. But these days, people just go YouTube, Google it, and figure out. And then they watch some videos on somebody else who tells them how to do it from a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And you can. I don't get me wrong. I would have loved to do that too if I was growing up. But today we didn't have that. But yeah, the dynamic has changed, and it is interesting. It really must change the dynamic of teaching at that level, because you really kind of have to resonate with the kids, right? Like you got to. My twin brother is a professor at the University of Washington, and he's been doing this stuff for years, and he's integrated technology really early on, like in the 90s. He was integrating technology. He was trying to, and it was very successful. And he said that it really made a difference for him, but. He liked it. He liked technology. I like technology, but he said, but especially for the students, the incoming students, and they really, it really resonated with them, and it really helped them to facilitate the learning process. But I can see how that could be challenging at certain levels because it costs money.
Yeah, like it's funny. Like I look back at growing up and like my dad saying, "Oh, when I was your age, we didn't have this and we didn't have that," and I'm like looking at these kids nowadays, and I'm like. They're in high school, and I'm like, I didn't have a cell phone in high school.
I know. My daughter
sound like my friggin' father.
I know.
Like I look back, I'm like everybody's like, oh, I'm streaming and gaming, and I'm like, I have regular Nintendo. Regular Nintendo. I have an Xbox. It's in the box in my basement.
Right.
I like technology. I like feel old when I talk to these kids. Like, oh, were you on? I was like, what?
You're like, what?
What? I was like, technology passed me years ago. Like, I have an Alexa in my house because somebody bought it for me, and you ask it questions, and it like sometimes it like randomly says shit, like. And I was like, and then somebody said that thing's recording all the time. And that
it's like it monitors your shit.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that it helped solve a murder.
Yeah. I guess whoever was prosecuting this person, they subpoenaed the records so they could retrieve, and they found the guy was guilty because he was planning some shit to kill somebody or something like that. I was like,
whoa. Did you ever see the movie I, Robot with Will Smith?
Yeah. Oh, great movie.
If you ask the future, that's exactly what I picture.
Well, I would. Totally. And you know what? I kind of think that our cell phones these days have become almost like cybernetic add-ons to our bodies, because I was just telling somebody else this today, how the average person, how far do you think on a daily basis does that phone get from their hand? A couple feet, maybe. People get fucking weirded out, man, if their phone gets too far away. Go up to somebody, if you're sitting eating at a table, and pick up their phone and put it on a table 2 tables away. See what they do. They'd freak the fuck out.
And that's why, like, and how healthy is it doing this?
Totally, man.
How healthy is it talking? Like, it's gotta be. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I have friends that are. They're like about thinking the government has cures for cancer and thinks that like they do things to. But it just can't be good. Like, look, I'm here now. My phone's right next to me.
I know. Well, we seem to feel that we really need these things so close to us these days because we interact with it so much, right?
Well, we let society tell us it's important.
Exactly. That's precisely. I was just we were having this conversation with somebody else too, that we get to define, like each of us should be able to define what's important to us, but we end up sort of allowing society, our culture, the norms sort of dictate what's beautiful, what's good, what's bad, what's acceptable for us, all these things. And sometimes it's not always the best thing,
My girlfriend, who's definitely not going to watch this, so I can say that's why I can say, because I know she's not going to watch it. She's like not in the industry, so she wouldn't even have a fucking clue where to start to even find this. So I can say. We have fights, horrible fights, about me, what I post on social media, and the fact that she thinks that I post my dogs, but I don't post her, or I post, and I tell her all the time, I was like, why do you define our relationship based on what goes on?
What I post?
She was like, well, you post your dogs. I'm like, yes, my dogs are with me every day. Like, you're here on the weekends. She's like, well, and I'm like, why does it if you're at shows with me and I bring you places and I posted before, I hate the fact that social media has literally become a social standard for businesses and relationships. Oh, you don't have an Instagram?
Right, exactly. What's wrong with you? Is there something wrong with you?
Yeah, or I think so-and-so broke up. Why? Oh, because they haven't posted about each other in a while.
Yeah. I mean, even the news, I was watching some of the news, and the news is a lot of the TMZ and all these things. Mostly what they talk about is really from the celebrities' posts and what they're insinuating from it and what they're sort of extracting from the dialogue. And there's arguments and there's this and there's this, is that really, it's not really real life. Anyways, we both know that most of social media, what's presented on social media sometimes isn't really to real life, right? It's a facsimile of real life. But actually, I was reading about some of the millennials and the girls, the females that grow up into this social media age. They have it the worst. They say that the boys don't seem to have it as bad in terms of how it affects their psyche. The girls tend to have more depression and anxiety.
Well, because you know what girls do? They compare themselves
against all these other.
I never compared myself to Jay Cutler when I was younger.
Right.
But girls will go on and compare their asses to 20 other girls' fucking butts.
Right, exactly. And it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. It's totally unrealistic.
Absolutely. It's those guys. Hey, knock it off.
They get a little rambunctious at night.
Well, you know it is because they can't play because she can't run. So I don't play with him. Tank. I can't play with him because then she gets jealous and I have to walk her. So when they get inside, they want to play, but they don't realize that they're injured.
Right.
I'm
right.
Hey, so she tried to take off a couple times. I'm like, you have anchors in your knee. If you blow these out, that surgery was $4,700. I was like, I will kill you.
Wow.
No.
What did she do? How did she blow her knee out?
She was at my parents', and I was actually there that day because I was getting my wood floor. I got brand new wood floors in my house, and she ran. I came home, and so I had to get her tail amputated.
Oh.
Because she has what's called happy tail syndrome, and it's not like an actual defect, but she would get so physically excited when she would see me that her tail, her ass shake so hard and so fast, and she would hit it on countertops and side of walls and doors and tables, and it would just cut and break and blood and splatter.
Oh my gosh.
And for months, I tried to salvage it, and it was just, I brought it to the vet every week she was there, and it was just infected. It looked like a piece of beef jerky at the end.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
A gorgeous, tail that, had so much character, added character to it. And now she's got, a Rottweiler nub.
I know. My Rottweiler has his tail, and he...
Really?
Yeah, he does, because...
You don't see that.
Well, I don't really like the docking of the tails that much. It's kind of... Some places, like in Europe, it's considered inhumane. They don't do it as a general practice, but unless it's necessary, but like in your case...
listen, I didn't want to get mine done.
Yeah, unless it's necessary. But I kind of wish that he didn't have it, because... He gets like that. He doesn't get bloody, but he's like bang, 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 bang. And it hurts.
A couple times it was like a murder scene in my house.
You're like, what the fuck?
Blood. Oh, God. All over.
it's a wonderful thing that animals. I used to use my dog as an example of unconditional love. I was like, look, man, this is unconditional love. Every time I come home, doesn't matter what's happened. My dog loves me. Okay, I kind of point that out to my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, you can be like that if you want. but we sort of operate like you're experiencing under performance, right? Performance rules. We got performance rules, and if you don't engage in those particular performance rules, then going to get reprimanded. It's like great love. So what's and I haven't really talked to you very much in the recent, and I don't know what's on your agenda these days. What's going on for you from the competitive side of things?
Well, I had, I think I had double shoulder surgery over the summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had my right one done June 26th, my left one done July 31st. So I went from 200 and about 35, 38 pounds down to 193.
That hits the ego more than anything else.
But the problem is, and I talked to doctors, and the doctor's like, listen, shoulder surgery, out of all the joints in your body and all the bone surgeries you can get, they said your shoulders are even worse than hips. They said the worst.
Really? Why?
They said because just of the pain, and because like they just said that the way. Now, I'm not saying the shoulder's more complex than the knee, but for some reason, shoulder surgery, like when you get rotator cuff surgery or labrum tears or impingements or AC joints, that is the most painful surgery. I've had knee surgery before. I've had multiple surgeries. They said that shoulder surgery is the worst one.
Oh, really? And what's your experience? Is it true? Would you say it's true? What
I got done was this.
Uh-huh.
They brought me home that day. First of all, I'm allergic to a lot of medication, so they have to use special drugs. Pain meds. I'm allergic to even antibiotics. I'm allergic to amoxicillin, penicillin, Keflex, codeine.
Damn.
Like, I can take anything. So they always have to find these weird drugs to give me. And they gave me, I don't know what fucking pain medication, but it was supposed to be one, I think it was Percocet. Does Percocet have codeine in it? I don't even know.
No, but it is a painkiller.
Okay, so they gave me Percocets. And,
it's a gnarly one.
it was one or two every 3. It was 4 to 6 hours. Dude.
Right.
Because do you ever get? I don't know if you ever surgery. They give you that nerve block shot in your neck.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
It numbs everything.
Right.
No lie. I don't know what your viewer rate is about cursing and talking.
Go for it. Yeah, I don't care.
They give you a nerve block shot in your neck, and it numbs the whole side of your body, dude. It numbed not only my fucking dick, but it numbed my asshole. Try taking a piss. With everything. It's the weirdest thing. And anyone that's had a shoulder surgery knows exactly what I'm talking about. It was absolutely, completely outrageous. They told me to start taking the Percocets. When I started feeling numbing, that means my pins and needles, that means the nerve block shot was wearing off. So I didn't do that because I felt the pins and needles, but I didn't feel the pain. Dude, that pain set in. No lie, I think from 9 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning, I think I took 11 or 12 Percocets because I kept every fucking hour. I was like 2, 1, 2. The fucking pain was not. I remember my stairs, and I'm shaking. I'm I don't know what I'm fucking do. I was I don't know how I'm gonna handle this. The pain was so bad. If I wanted to take a fucking knife and just cut my shoulder. That bad. It was so unbearable. I mean, I've had throat surgeries. I've had every kind of fucking.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're on a first name basis with your surgeon.
It's in my throat. What?
I said you're on a first name basis with your surgeon.
I've had lymph nodes. They thought I had lymphoma, cancer. I had 2 surgeries under my arm getting lymph nodes removed. I had throat surgery, knee surgery, 3 shoulder operations, stem cells, platelets.
You're like the Bionic Man.
Yeah, minus the fucking bionic parts and still being in pain.
I know the weird thing about a lot of the painkillers, like you said, what would be weird to me, especially when I hear you say that story, because that's kind of funny, but what would be weird to me would be, because if you're taking a piss, it would be like holding somebody else's dick. That would not go over good with me. It
was the most and it got worse the second time, my second surgery, because I said, can you guys please give me extra nerve block? I said, because I can't deal with that pain again because I was going to fucking lose my mind. So they gave me it, except I forgot that happened. So instead of being numb for a couple hours, I was numb for 36 hours. But honestly, you want to know what I thought the whole time? I was like, this is, if they could figure out a way to utilize this in like the bedroom, because if you're numb, you could fuck for hours.
For days.
I was like, this would be the best.
Well, did you, how long did the pain last? Was it just a couple of days that it was intense?
It went away after 24 hours. Okay. Like the throbbing. But then like I had to like, after a couple of days, I would like take the sling off and like push my arm down because they cut my bicep tendon and reattached it into my humerus. So I got the keyhole injections, the keyhole slits from the laser and the scope. Then they cut me right here, and then they cut my bicep tendon away from my labrum, drilled a hole in my humerus, anchored the bicep tendon, and reattached it.
So has it made your workouts feel different?
Yeah, my and they cut, so you can you can't see unless I point out, but I got like a little indentation at the top where they cut the bicep. But yeah, it's weird. Like getting a pump takes a lot longer.
Really? That's strange.
Yeah.
Why? What did they explain? Oh.
I don't know. It and like I think the blood flow might be like a little different. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, you may have.
Pump isn't the same. Like I got to do more reps, and I'll do like more like some drop sets and even like slow like eccentric movements just to get as much blood in there as I can.
It's probably because of they probably had to reroute blood supply, and my guess is. But the good news is that over time those muscles will recapillarize, so they'll start to But yeah, that'd be weird. Yeah. I noticed that just by getting older. Like,
I don't know how old you are, but I'm 37. I feel like I'm 60.
I'm 48. I'll turn 49 in June, and it's kind of it's a little surreal to think that I'm almost at the 50-yard line of life. Yeah. it's like, is it really half over? Maybe. Like I don't know. It's been a pretty awesome ride, but it doesn't feel like I still feel about 29 up here. You know? Yeah. You know?
I had I was on Instagram before bed, which I'll never do this again. Because I've never been afraid of dying, or I don't really think about it because I just think it's one of those things where it's like one of those things that like everybody think like wants answers to and that they're never going to figure out. So it's like, why even bother wasting time on it? But I watched a Instagram video that PJ Braun posted, and he talked about like how he is like deathly afraid. Like his biggest fear in life is like death. And I was watching 2 minutes, yeah, and I went to bed, and then I couldn't get death off my mind, and I like typical fucking narcissist was like, and then it was like, and I started like trying to cut like think about life and like what's next, and like is it really it after? And I was like, fucking 4 a.m. comes around, I'm like, come on.
You're like, what is the meaning of life?
Yeah, dude, I was like, go to fucking sleep. Oh, so bad.
I didn't know you were such a deep thinker, man.
I think about it. The worst is when I drive. I think about everything under the sun.
Really? That's usually a really good sort of meditative place because you don't have to.
I do. That's the thing. That I have I don't meditate, but when I drive, I love my country music. I literally have my country music playing, singing like a maniac.
Good.
But I'm doing that, but I'm so focused up here. Like even jamming out in the car, like I still have these crazy thoughts.
Who do you listen to? Just curious. I like country music too.
Oh, I listen to Christ. I mean, Garth Brooks. I have Willie Nelson. I have Kenny Rogers, all the way up to Jason Aldean, Brantley Gilbert, Carrie Underwood, Thomas Rhett.
Oh wow, you really do listen to a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you who I really like. Zach Brown Band.
Oh, ZBB, yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah. I just love the sound. I just like the sound. So
the best one in concert I've seen Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, Dirk Bentley, Brantley Gilbert, Kenny Chesney, Old Dominion. The best in concert is Jason Aldean and Brantley Gilbert was my number one.
Well,
was unbelievable in concert.
They just sounded good live because some people don't sound good live.
Yeah, awesome. And like most people live, most performers live don't sound as good as their music, right. And I thought he sounded fucking better.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
I didn't know you. I didn't know you like country music. That's good. That's cool. I like it.
I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Yeah, I'll get closer. You can see. I'm not your typical Jersey guy.
I figured, like maybe, I don't know, Megadeth. Oh, there we go.
My other pets.
There you go. Do you have names? They got names?
Yeah, 1 and 2.
And 1 and 2.
Yeah, 2016, 2017.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Yeah, but I was brought up, man. I was brought up that way. I'm a country boy. My dad listened to country growing up. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I'm in the gym, I got my rap on and shit. Like, I listen to some country sometimes when I train. But no, my dad didn't even listen to really rock. I mean, he listened to like some of the older like Beatles and shit. But for the most part, he listened to country. And he wouldn't even allow us to listen to rock and rap. He was like, turn that shit off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I listen to everything. These days, I especially like EDM stuff, like electronic dance music.
See, I can't get into that.
I just like the
who
the
likes
vibe.
that?
Who?
Evan.
Oh, really?
Evan likes like club music. Yeah, I don't know like exact name, but I remember me and Evan used to be really close. I mean, he's grown, he got kids now, but yeah, back in the day, he used to love that shit. Yeah, I like it because
there's good energy to it. So that's why I like country music, because country music has good energy as well. There's good. Unless they're talking about their dogs dying, then I'm like, okay, I don't want to die. But this is why I don't listen to blues. My brother loves the blues stuff, and it's a little sad for me. It's like a little depressing. I want to like. It's like the whole reason why I didn't like grunge music in the '90s. It's a little depressing to me. Is the shoulders 100% now?
I mean, yeah, I started dieting. I got back up to 232 pounds, which I was shocked. I mean, a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen my rants and shit, but a lot of people wrote me off for a long. They were like, he's done. They saw Dennis Wolf had his surgery and he don't look the same. And, a lot of these guys get injured and, they come back and they're not the same. But I told everybody, I was like, they're not me. Like, I consider myself a completely different breed than a lot of people.
Well, I'm a big believer that it's got to be up here first before the body follows. Like, the body follows the mind, and if you don't believe you can do it, then forget it, right? Yeah. Do you? When you went in for the surgery, I'm curious. Was that a special consideration? Did you talk to the surgeon and say, "Hey, look, man, I'm a professional bodybuilder. I need to be."
Me and the surgeon are actually on like a first name basis. Like, I have a cell phone number, and I told him, I said, "Listen," because he said, "Listen," he goes, "You're gonna need." He goes, if this surgery doesn't do the trick for you long term, he goes, you're gonna need shoulder replacements. He's like, on both shoulders. And listen, I played football for 15 years. I hit every play with my shoulders. I know I did this to myself. So I go, listen, doc, I don't care about shoulder replacements. I go, my goal, I said, I want to get another 4 or 5 years out of my fucking career. I said, that's all I care about. I go, I'm not saying like I want to be like Ronnie Coleman and like banged up like that. Like Ronnie was a kid, and God bless him. I'm not gonna die or put my life like I'm not gonna do that for any sport of any kind. But I figured my shoulders are already shot, and if I gotta get replacements anyway, I at least can fucking grind it out for another 4 or 5 years and make the best out of the surgery that I had, and try to enjoy my last few years being a professional bodybuilder. And push myself to the limits as far as I can with my shoulders.
Well, I've talked to several people who've had shoulder surgery over the years, and most of them say their shoulders felt pretty much like new after they got done. No? You're like, not really new, but it's like new and used.
It's my shoulders. I have arthritis and obviously like tears, and I had partial tear in my labrum, my right one that I had surgery on back in 2009. But it was he goes, your bicep tendons were so bad.
How did that happen? How did that, would they get frayed or something?
You know what it is? I don't know. The only thing that I tell people, I go, I have, and I hate using this word, but I don't know what else to really call it. I really do have retard strength. Like, I am very strong. I've always been in the gym. Like, I just had, those shoulder surgeries, and about, 2 months ago, I was repping out, and I have the videos on Instagram, repping out 315 on the incline. Like and it's after shoulder. Like, I'm just I benched 450 for reps. I squatted 600-700 pounds. Before my car wreck in 2011, like I could pull 6-7 plates. So I was never big. Like, I'm 5'5.5". Like, I haven't gotten over. I've been 240 once in my life. Normally around 220, 230. So I'm not like a a heavy person. I just always had naturally in the gym. I'm naturally strong. I can grab a heavy weight and just throw it around.
You have big hands. You have those big mitts.
No, I really don't.
Sometimes
yeah. I got buddies that have like their hands look like catcher's mitts.
Well, that's like Jose, man. He's got those fucking like sausages, man. They're like fucking links of sausages on his hands.
Yeah,
he looks like he's been pounding on metal like an anvil for like 10 years. Yeah, yeah.
It's insane, but yeah, I think my strength. I don't think my tendons could keep up with my muscle, like my physical strength.
Oh, so they're
I
pulling.
think I just tore my shoulders down to pieces. I think I could the weight that I use for me, for others, they'd be like, oh my God, how do you lift that? But I think I was capable of doing it. I just don't think my joints shouldn't be in my body. Like I have the wrong person's joints. You know, like I my joints are not strong at all.
There's only so much structural strength that you could. I mean, I think when you get more diminutive, like shorter, because I know I'm the same way. I was always very strong, but I had to be careful too because I could literally almost feel this. Like I felt like I was gonna rip stuff sometimes. So I didn't. I never took the chance. But what? So what you're getting ready for the New York Pro? Is that what you're doing?
I was going to. I don't know what I'm going to do. The reason why I say I don't know what I'm going to do, everybody's like, oh well, you know, because I think Eduardo's doing it, Ashkenani's doing it. And some people are like, oh, you don't want to compete against them. The truth is, it has nothing to do with them. The truth is that when I saw Chris Aceto at the Arnold, I showed him what I looked like, and he was very impressed with my progress post-op. And he wanted me to do Tampa, which is the last show before the Olympia, because he thought that would give me more time to get bigger, rounder, fuller.
But it gives you only one opportunity. Yes.
Now, only difference is I signed with the new sponsor, MFit. They're absolutely phenomenal. Owned by A&Z Pharmaceutical, GMP certified, FDA inspected facilities. Like they're top notch. Absolutely amazing. I love the whole entire team.
A&Z?
Huh?
What did you say the company name was again?
MFit.
MFit. Okay.
MFit, and it's owned by A&Z Pharmaceutical, which is a pharmaceutical company. And it's awesome. It's cool to be a part of something like that. And they're a startup company, but they have a startup company that have the backing to them. So it was really cool. And it just that kind of flowed with my vision of what I want to do like after I'm done competing. And I forgot where we were going.
Oh, we're talking about Tampa.
So because I signed with them, and when I first spoke to them, they said, what are you going to do? What are your plans? And I said, I'm shooting for New York. So they kind of had like this little thing set up about like my return, and because they're out of Long Island and they're from New York, like they wanted like to do this big series on me leading up to New York. But I was like, I told Chris, Chris said, I want you to do Tampa, my company, and not saying my company's asking me to do it, but they were really excited about getting the story. So I said, listen, that's what I'm going to do. I told Chris, I said, when I start dieting, my appetite's horrible to begin with. I have zero appetite. I'm the worst pro bodybuilder in the world. I could eat no and be absolutely fine every day. So I said, let's do this, Chris. I said, I'm going to start dieting for New York. I said, because it's a win-win. I'll start dieting, but essentially I'm going to be eating more. So if I'm eating more, it's going to help me gain muscle and grow. So I said, we'll go for 5 weeks, like because it was 10 weeks out right after the Arnold. We'll go for 5 weeks. We'll look at how I look, and then we'll go from there. So I sent him pictures yesterday, and he was like, he emailed me back. He said, massive improvements. So that's the first time he said that in 3 weeks. Getting ready, but so we'll see what happens. I'm not saying I'm not going to be there, but I'm not saying I'm going to be there. But I'm 100% competing this year. Just don't know on what stage that's going to be.
Do you feel good about your improvements? You feel good about what you're able to do so far in the last 5 weeks?
Yeah. I was more impressed with my recovery and how much weight I put on in the period of time that I did it. But the thing is now is that it sucks, but father time. I look at myself and I'm like, I look at some of these guys and I was like, I'm not in my fucking 20s anymore. Like I'm 37 years old. Like I'm fucking flirting with 40. Like these guys that are 26, I'm like, man, when I was 26, I whooped this guy's ass. I ain't 26 no more.
You don't even have the same shoulders.
Yeah. I've had knee surgery, 3 shoulder surgeries. I've had stem cell injections in my elbows, my back.
How do you like that? Does that? I've heard this works great.
It didn't do a fucking thing.
Really?
I got it in both shoulders, both elbows, and my lower back, and my knees.
And nothing. Oh.
And you know what? It actually made me fucking worse because they took the bone marrow out of your iliac crest and your hip.
Ah!
And,
doesn't that hurt?
Well, so they twilight anesthesia you, which means you're kind of like.
I know you're almost out.
Because they talk to you, because the reason why they have to do that is because when they're injecting your back, they have to make sure that you can still feel your legs. So if the legs go numb, you have to tell them, because they have to back out and not make sure they don't want to fucking paralyze you. But I remember, because I talked to the doctor the following day, and I felt like at one point it felt like this, like if somebody put their hand on your chest and went like this, like I remember feeling that. And the next day I was like, Doc, I said, were you like punching me in the back at one point? I said, because I felt like somebody had a hammer and they were like beating my back. And he was like, we tried getting the bone marrow out of your left hip. He's like, but we couldn't get the needle to penetrate your bone. He's like, your bone is really dense. It's like, we got a bigger needle, went to the other side thinking we could get in. He's like, we couldn't. He's like, so I had to get a little mallet and fucking
nail it in there.
But ready for this? It made my back 10 times worse.
Oh my God.
I walked a fucking cane for 2 weeks.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Jeez, you're like, thanks, Doc.
I'm more like, thanks, God, for fucking letting me abuse you for 37 years with my life.
You most of the damage on the body is it from the football or is it from the bodybuilding?
I think it's a combo. I think my back is from a car accident that I got into, but I think my shoulders is a combination of hard hitting and heavy training. Right.
So what kind of advice do you give some of your clients and people who ask you about this kind of stuff to avoid this? Do you give them advice on that, or I should say it this way: if you can go back to your 20-something-year-old self now, would you do things differently, sort of modify your training or your lifestyle in some way to help maybe curtail some of those kinds of injuries?
Yeah, I would tell people that are bodybuilding. I was always small, and I was always the underdog and always doubted. So I always felt like I had to prove something to not only myself, but like when I was in the gym, it was always like, I'm going to fucking be the strongest motherfucker every time I step into the gym. That was the mentality I had. Like if I was doing chest one day and somebody was benching 315, I was like, I put fucking 405 on. Like there's only one person in this gym that's harder or heavier than me. Like that was just, and it's not right, but what I would tell people is, when back then I was doing 2 guys, knock it off. I was doing like lower reps sometimes. I do like 5 or 6. And I'm not saying my form was always great, but I think a lot of things that will gut check a lot of these kids. I think a lot of kids use weight to train for. I think the problem that you're going to see a lot more now is people getting injured doing things for social media.
Oh, totally.
My advice to kids would be train how you train when the camera's on and when it's off, because you're going to fucking hurt yourself. Because I see a lot of kids in the gym that train and their heaviest crazy set is the one that fucking gets filmed.
Right.
It's just like fucking 50-pound dumbbells, but then the camera's on. Oh, we're going to do fucking 120s. Like Calvin Mongaver and Chris Bumstead, they were doing that. They were like curling or something. And he tore his fucking bicep because, it's just every time you try to do something for views or likes, you better fucking think twice about doing it.
You better be able to. You better want to do it without the views and likes. It's better be worthwhile to do it beforehand, if you will. I totally agree. I see some of these videos and I cringe because I'm thinking, maybe it's just I've seen too much and I just keep thinking, man, something's gonna pop any second. I've seen those videos where people like snap rip a muscle or something like that, and to me that's horrifying. It's just absolutely horrifying. It's like it's the biggest fear that I would have in the gym is ripping something in the middle of a set. It's like, man, I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. So I'm really super careful. But that's me, though, and I know a lot of people. But when I was young, I remember, I have a different, I don't know about you, but I have a very different mentality now. I'm actually more cautious than I was when I was younger, because I did stupid stuff sometimes, I think. Yeah. So.
Like I was doing, in college, we had squat, bench, and power clean. I was power cleaning 315. That's fucking horrible for you.
Yeah. Especially on those shoulders,
You're
man.
taking a weight or doing this and then ripping your wrists, elbows, shoulders. Like, what was I thinking?
I see these ladies do. I was actually on Instagram Live. I was talking about this. I don't usually rant on stuff, but I just found it hilarious and also ludicrous at the same time. I saw this lady in the gym. She's, she'll put the weight on her hips,
Hip thrusts
with a barbell, and she's doing 315 pounds for reps, right? And I'm going, were you gonna fuck a buffalo? Like, what is this for? Like,
I don't understand. I mean, girls want rounder booties, so I don't. Like, when I see girls, I've even seen 405. I've seen guys post videos doing, like, a certain amount, and I'm like, I don't really fucking understand. Like, if you're going to throw that much weight on your hips and you want to engage your glutes, do a heavy squat.
Yeah, do heavy, exactly. Or like, step-ups or something else that's direct, right?
Yeah.
But
like, you look like a fucking idiot.
That's what I said. I was like, no, it kind of looks like an idiot. I was like,
yeah. Same people that, and I listen, and I know if my buddy watches this, they're gonna get pissed, but because I say it all the time, and I don't know if you do, so I don't want to offend you.
No.
Guys that walk around the gym in fucking tights, I don't get it.
Oh no, yeah, I don't do that. Yeah, although I did in the '90s. Me, the same, I
had probably more acceptable now.
Well, it was
acceptable then.
It was the style, right? Like Lycra, and I had the bumblebee looking thing.
People do it now, like, and I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't get it. Like, girls wear leggings. That's what I think. I'm like, girls wear leggings.
Hey, man, I've said it before. It's one of the best inventions for women in the last 15 years. It's like great.
For women. Listen, I was totally against joggers, but I've started getting into joggers only because I tell people, listen, I accepted joggers only because I'm a midget and they're tapering out.
Exactly.
I can wear them with shoes and I don't step on them. That's my justification on why I have joggers. And I'm sponsored by Gas, so I just get the better body ones. But that's the only acceptable kind of tight pants.
Hey, man, I thought they looked kind of gay when I first saw them, and then I tried some on. I'm like, hey, man, these actually fit. I don't know.
You'll never catch me dead in these. And then I tried a pair on. I'm like, these actually aren't that bad.
So you never know. I was going to become a convert myself, too. So.
Yeah. I won't bash joggers anymore.
Hey, so I don't know if you've been over to Kuwait, right?
That one place I have not been.
Oh, I was like,
I've been to Dubai a million times. Australia, I've been all over the world, never to Kuwait. Bader was trying to get me to go over there a couple of years ago. I never went.
I was saying, have you ever thought about going? Like, it would be everyone, and here's the magic. And the magic is focus. It's like, all the distractions go away, and now it's all 100% bodybuilding, 24/7, right? So would that be appealing?
No.
You're like, who's going to take care of my fucking dogs?
So, okay, two reasons. Number one, I'm a grown-up. I'm an adult. I'm 37 years old. I don't need, because listen, John Dell, and I'm not bash. I think those guys I respect every one of them. Bader, all the Abdullah, all the guys at trainers, every one of them. But I was in football camp when I was in high school and college. I know what it's like to be told what to do, when to eat, when to sleep, blah, 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 when to get up. 37 years old. I don't answer to anybody.
Amen.
I can ever answer to anybody. And first of all, I don't nap. That's number one. And they make you nap over there, according to the people that I spoke to.
Yeah, you're right. There's a schedule.
Yeah. And, I think that place is good for people that don't have the focus or maybe could possibly be lazy or want to be better bodybuilders, but like they just don't have the dedication or the drive. It's almost like people that get distracted or the people that can't stop going out and partying, or that's good for them. And the reason why I say I don't think it's good for me, because honestly, and this is going to sound cocky and I don't care because I will put it up against anybody in the fuck in that I can be against. I really don't think there's anybody that trains harder than me. I really don't.
Hey, I think you have
I'm not 260 pounds, 300 pounds like Josh Lenartowicz, lunging 315. But pound for pound in squat, bench, I don't think that there's nobody that works harder than me. I will put. I mean, I've heard interviews with Palumbo, Aceto, Jose Raymond said it, that I'm the craziest training partner he's ever had. So, I mean, there's people that in the industry that have said it. I don't think anybody trains harder than me. So that's why I don't think me going over there would do anything.
What? Well, hey, I would probably have a tendency, just knowing what I know of you, I'd probably have a tendency to agree. I don't know how much value you would necessarily get in terms of like giving you structure. You sound like you have a lot of structure.
Well, that's the thing. I'm so structured. Like I wake up in the morning. Like I have my routine. I have my journal. Like I keep track of everything. Like I am beyond neurotic when I like getting ready for a show. In the off season, I don't have the journal. I think it's a little too ridiculous to have it in the off season. But every show I've ever done, I have a journal. I'm on track. Like I have my food. Like I'm just. And I think that's why I do good, because I'm very good by myself and alone. Because I get to be in my own groove at my own time. I don't have to be on anybody else's schedule. But yeah, I mean, I'm on point 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like you can't really get me off track.
What do you put in your journal? Is it just training? Is it diet?
Yeah, I'll read here. So
I'm just curious on what kind of yardsticks you use to gauge yourself.
So Monday I wrote how I slept. Like this year I slept pretty well, but felt absolutely exhausted in the morning. 11:55 in the morning because I sleep. So sometimes my problem is I don't have a big appetite. So 11:55 is almost noon. That means I probably got up at 8:30. That's how long I wait to eat because I can't eat.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Okay, I see.
My first meal: 4 whole eggs, couple egg whites, 2/3 cup of cream of rice, vitamin E, Arjuna, vitamin D, NAC, plant sterols, CoQ10. 4:15 p.m. 8 ounces of bison, 2 cups of white rice. 6:45, 8 ounces of bison, 2 cups of white rice. 7:45, start over 3 sets of high lat pull downs, 3 sets behind the neck pull downs, 4 sets of chest supported rows, 4 sets of seated wide grip hammer rows, 3 sets of seated cable rows, 3 sets of standing lat pull downs. 9:40 p.m., 70 grams of whey protein, 1 banana. 10:45, 8 ounces of salmon, 1 cup of rice. 12:50 a.m., 8 ounces of cod, 1 cup of white rice. Arjuna, vitamin D, fish oil. That's just how I keep myself accountable for what I eat throughout the day, what I take, what time I sleep, how I'm sleeping, what I'm training. This is just my way of keeping myself accountable.
I like that you keep track.
If I'm in a gym, or if I'm extremely strong one day, I'll note it in here, and I'll kind of look back to see what I ate the day prior, if something changed, why my strength went up, or why I had such a good lift, or my pump was different, or I keep track of like different shit like that.
Yeah, I like the way you keep track of how you feel when you wake up. So I think I encourage people to do stuff like that because that's important. You want to know because you want to feel good every day. If you don't feel good, you can't train good, right? So it's important. When did you start doing a journal like this? Have you always done it like?
Day one.
Day one. Oh wow. So did you have a mentor that kind of, or you just said, you know what, I'm going to keep track of this? I was
a history major.
Oh, okay.
I was writing things down, dates, time. I think that's why it happened. I was always dates, times, facts, when this happened. And then, like, the way I would study, I would take my notes and I would rewrite them on another page.
Oh, okay. That's how you learn.
The more you write, it's like a song. The more you hear a song and get the words and you over and over. So for me, it was like, all right, I read my notes and I rewrote them, read them, rewrote them, read them, rewrote them. Because the more I wrote them, then it almost became like photogenic. Where like when the question came, I remember writing it on the page and seeing, so.
Curious. Switch a subject. What got you interested in history? Because
I had a teacher, which I wish he could watch this because I know he's still alive, but he probably. I actually emailed him when I graduated and told him he was the reason why I wanted to become a history teacher. Mr. Cosgrove, when I was a junior and senior in high school, was my history teacher, and he was the most engaging teacher that I've ever seen. I mean, I had family members in war, so I always watched like all the war movies, like Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan and History Channel, watching all the stuff on the wars and the Civil Wars and World Wars. And but he was so engaging when he like told like a war story and he like described like a bullet, like when somebody died and where they got shot. He would like, and the bullet hit him, and he was just so animated in class and engaging when he described like the wars and the tactics. Like he consumed the class. Like the class went by so fast. And I was like, I want to be a teacher and do what he does to me when I'm in class to students.
He made it real. He made the history real, right?
I love his class was my favorite class.
Wow.
He was the best teacher ever.
I think we all have. Well, I hope that everybody has some teacher, some mentor, some teacher out there that inspired them. I had one, and when I was in 6th grade. It was my algebra teacher. She was this rotund black lady, and everyone was afraid to take her class because she was so hard. And I was not a good student at that age because I didn't have my glasses yet. Would get fluid build up in my ears when I was a kid, so I couldn't hear too good. And so until I got the tubes put in, then I could see, get the glasses, and that happened all that year. And so I didn't have a lot of confidence. And so I happened to get her class one semester. I'm like, oh man, I got this teacher. And so I get her class, and the first week she pulls me aside. She says, Tad, I know you can do better. You're gonna come to me after class, after school, every day, and we're gonna work on your homework, and I know you're gonna do better. I got my first A ever in that class, and because of that, I said, if I can get an A in her class, I can get an A in any fucking class. And after that, all I got was A's and B's.
That's awesome.
so because, and I don't even remember her name. I feel so bad because I've told this story many times, and she was a very pivotal point in my personal esteem, my personal self-esteem, and as a student. And so I know that confidence is everything. It has to do. So when I tell people, like, look, don't tell the bad story about yourself because you'll live it out. Tell the good story. Just because we don't always have the luxury of somebody else believing in us. We have to be that person first. Did you have somebody that believed in you in bodybuilding? Because being short, I know for me, everybody laughed at me.
I got laughed at, so I got picked on a lot growing up. I don't know. I mean, I've said it in other interviews. But
me too. I did too. I know what you mean.
I got bullied. I got bullied. I don't want to say kindergarten, but I would say about 1st, 2nd grade, all the way till I think I probably stopped getting bullied sophomores, juniors in college.
Oh,
no, I'm sorry, not college. High school.
I'm like, Jesus. High school?
Yeah, I was in way too many fights by that time. That's what changed me. I was like, I'm just going to start beating the fucking shit out of people. That's really what snapped me out of it. Like, I was in the amount of fights I've gotten in my life is like I've cooled down. I mean, I was in a fight a couple years ago in the gym. I knocked a kid right the fuck out.
Really? Why? What happened?
Because I was brought up with respect, and I respect everybody that I come across, and I give, whether they're 10 years old or 80 years old,
sure.
I give everybody respect, and I don't take one thing I don't tolerate is disrespect. I can take personal disrespect, but when you disrespect friends, family, loved ones, like that's when my patience and my tolerance level, like I'll go to jail. Like that's when people see, the problem is people will say that. I'm a person that I won't say it. I'll just do it. But, this kid just came to the gym. Like, I wish I had my training partner here because I'm going to tell this story and people are going to be like, that didn't happen, but it did. I was training chest. I was getting ready for the 2016 Mr. Olympia. And this kid comes I was in Powerhouse Gym in Staten Island. And this kid comes running down the stairs, 6 foot, maybe 250. He wasn't big, but he's 6 foot. He's tall, so he was
right.
250. And he came down in like Under Armour boxers. They were actually boxers because I actually have them on currently. I've hit my own.
Right.
And he comes running down the stairs into the like downstairs area of the gym. He sprints across the gym, hurdles 3 benches, and then grabs a 150-pound dumbbell and tries to snatch it over his head, drops it, tries to grab a 100-pound dumbbell and hammer curl it, drops that, runs back across the gym, hurdles the 3 benches, gets on the decline hammer press with 225, did like 2 reps, dropped it, ran back over, hurdled the benches again, went into the power rack, did a barbell curl of 2 reps, dropped that, went over to the preacher curl machine bar, curled that for 2 reps, and then ran into the bathroom.
What the fuck? Okay.
So, you know I'm as blunt as anybody comes. So I took my headphones off, and I was like, yo, and everybody turned around. And I was like, does anybody know that kid? And they're all like, no. And I go, is he on drugs? And they're like, he's been here a couple of times. I'm like, if anybody knows him, please tell him to stay the fuck away from me. Because if he runs into me while I'm training, there's going to be, like, when you just sense a problem?
Yeah.
Just keep him the fuck away from me. Because I don't want to fucking kill somebody tonight. And, dude, it was like, I was like 3 extra. I was almost done. I had maybe 2 exercises to go. And I'm doing fucking champagnes with near the dumbbell rack, and I'm fucking on the bench and I'm doing my reps, and the motherfucker comes and stands inches from. There's nobody in the dumbbell rack, and he starts working out. When I tell you 2 feet from me, he was like, I could have grabbed his ass. So I get done with my reps, and on my last rep, I look in the mirror. My training partner's looking at me. I go, watch this. And I took the dumbbells, and I fucking dropped them. They didn't hit him, but they were fucking very close to him. And it was kind of like, that's your warning signal? So fuck out of here.
Back off.
I had my headphones on. I dropped them. I got up off the bench. I turned to my left. I couldn't hear anything. Well, I turned back around. My training partner is 270 pounds, white kid, a little younger than me, Rich. And him and Richard is in the kid's face. And I came over, and I guess the kid, when I dropped the dumbbells, was like, "You're lucky that didn't fucking hit me."
He said that to you?
My training partner. I didn't hear it.
Oh.
My training partner goes, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Because we could have a problem right fucking now." And that's when I turned around. I pulled my training partner back, and the kid has 2 30-pound dumbbells, and he's standing there. And I pull my training partner back, and I go up to the kid. I'm like, you need to calm the fuck down. And, dude, the kid was not comprehending. He was just like, I'll fucking kill you. You don't know who the fuck I am. And I was like, my man. I was like, I'm going to tell you again. You better calm the fuck down. I said, or this is going to end really bad for you. When I said that, he, like, lunged at me with the dumbbells. So I grabbed him under the shirt, and I slammed him against the mirror. And I go, I'm going to tell you one more time to calm the fuck down. I said, I'm going to beat the fucking shit out of you. And he dropped the dumbbell, his right dumbbell. He dropped it, and he swung. And I moved, and I just came back, and I fucking clocked him. And knocked him right. I knocked him out over the leg press machine. But then once, I'm sure you've been in fights before, but once you, like, that adrenaline comes, I hit him. I saw he was knocked out. But I had like that flight or fight mentality. So I just jumped on him, and I just started fucking pounding him. And, my training partner came over. He was trying to hit the kid. My training partner hit me 4 times. I had 4 fucking lumps in my head for my training partner. My training partner unleashed on me. And the kid wanted to call the cops, and the owner of the gym was like, listen, you can call the cops, but everybody downstairs saw you swing a guy. So I ended up going upstairs, and then the kid was like, his face was fucking mangled. And I'm like, dude, listen, I said, I gave you every opportunity to fucking chill out. I said, I appreciate intensity. I'm like, but I was like, this isn't a track and field. You don't hurdle benches. Yeah. You don't do that, So yeah, I had a lot of, that was a little trail off, but I had nobody believed in me. I mean, because it's hard to, I'm not saying my parents didn't believe in me, but my parents up until, like, after a couple of years of competing, my parents had no fucking clue. My parents weren't even at my first bodybuilding show.
Oh, really?
No, like, my parents were like, what the fuck are you doing?
Now you got a whole life around it.
Yeah, now my parents, like, they won't miss a beat, But when I was growing up, I don't think my parents really knew, like, that I was good at it.
Oh.
Like, I competed my first show in West Virginia. Actually, it was a NABA show. Obviously, I didn't know back then. We're talking 16 years ago.
Right.
I didn't know IFBB, NPC. I was like, I want to be a bodybuilder. Let's do a show. So I did a NABA show, and I actually won my novice overall open, and I actually lost the overall to Fred Smalls.
Fred Smalls, really?
Yeah. So, Fred Smalls, yeah. I turned purple for that motherfucker, though. But, yeah, man, my parents didn't. So it's hard to say that anybody really believed in me because nobody really understood it.
Right.
It's like, how do you believe in something you don't understand?
Even today, it's the people. I guess it's a little better understood. I think just because it's a little bit more mainstream. Yeah. I remember growing up telling people about this in the '80s when I started, and the early '90s, and they go, "So what do you do? Is that do you guys lift weights on stage?" I'm like, "You fucking seen a bodybuilding show, man?" Like, no, we pose. It's all aesthetic value. It's all about developing a physique. So it was a little bit of it. Now I don't have to explain that to people. They're like, "Oh yeah, you bodybuilders." But and the whole lifestyle is all presented very, very. It's a lot more. Actually, today is a wonderful time for the sport growing, and as well as it being so sort of culturally accepted for the most part. So it's really and opportunities to have a career, which I really didn't think that was the possibility for me. I thought that my possibility for making bodybuilding a lifestyle was becoming Mr. Olympia. Like that was the only way it was going to happen, like, right?
Yep.
But now you don't have to do that. As we know, there's a lot of Insta-famous people who've never stepped on stage who seem to want to give everybody advice.
I just did a rant about this 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah?
Because somebody came up to me in the gym and they asked me if I could give an up-and-coming. So, see, a lot of people don't pay attention when you speak or when you, like, write something in a caption. They said, what was one piece of advice you could give an up-and-coming bodybuilding that's aspiring to be a pro? And I go, if I could give you one piece of fucking advice, I said, put your fucking phone down in the gym.
Good advice.
And the reason why I say that is because it's a distraction. It slows you down. It makes you do dumb shit. You're worried more about views and likes in training and the task at hand. And my rant was, and I'm not saying I am not Mr. Olympia. I'm not one of the best bodybuilders ever to live. But my point is number one, I might not be Mr. Olympia, but I'm one of the highest paid 212 bodybuilders in the industry. Actually, I might be the highest because Flex is no longer a 212.
Right.
You know, I have 3 very, very good contracts, and the reason why I have my contracts is because my work ethic got me to where I am now. And people are like, well, you use your phone now, and I'm like, that's the point. I am able to use my phone now because I didn't use my phone back then, and that me putting my phone and my distractions in my bag and leaving it in my car and going to the gym and training got me to being a pro and successful and winning shows and sponsors to where now I have to use my phone to keep my sponsorship obligations up. So my thing is, stop worrying about trying to be Insta famous if you want to be a bodybuilder. If you're trying to be Insta famous, then by all means use your fucking phone. But if you're trying to be a competitive bodybuilder or fitness competitor or figure or bikini or whatever, and you're an amateur, there's no need for a phone in the gym.
Absolutely. I totally agree 100%. Actually, it's funny you say that because when I think back in my own career of bodybuilding, until I retired a couple years ago, I remember I'd go to the gym and I would tell people, I put my phone, they're like, I called you, I texted you. Like, I don't look at it when I go to the gym. It goes in my bag, gets zipped up, and it doesn't come out until I get back in my car. And it's not because I don't give a shit about you guys. It's because I care about my workout, and I really have to get that done. And I want to get it done at the highest level of efficiency that I possibly can. And I can. And today, I'm.
You know who's the worst stickler? Like with that, like worst meaning like takes no shit is Branch.
Really?
Branch, yeah, even now, like Branch is retired. I'll take my phone. I'm like, man, put the fucking thing away. And I was like, dude, I have to film, so stop. Like,
it's
like, and I was like, I'll try to do when he's not looking because he gives me that look like, and I was like, Brett, shut up, bro.
It's
like I don't enjoy doing it. I hate it. But I mean, when I'm home, my training partners, my training partners know my password to my phone because I'm in the gym and I just hand it to them. Like I'll just give my phone. They know what to do. Like I'm saying, I just go here.
Go for it.
They know where my apps are on my phone, my passwords, who to tag.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know, transparency is everything, right?
I got nothing to hide.
I know I don't hide nothing either. But actually that's one of the really good things about. So one of the things I tried to do as soon as I started getting on social media and becoming more visible several years ago was I tried to be as authentic and as sincere as I am in real life in terms. And I've always been very happy and proud to say that most people who come up to me at expos or whatever, they say, "Hey, wow, you're just like you are that you seem like you are on social media." And I'm like, okay, cool. So do you get that same kind of response? Because you very much seem to be like that way.
Like get your response, like people noticing you because you're on social media.
They say that, oh, you're just like you are, like you.
Oh yeah, oh my god. People that's one thing, and that's one thing that I take pride in is I know everybody doesn't like me because I know I'm not. What I tell people is I'm not saying that I'm right or I'm wrong, but what I am saying is that I think my opinion is right.
Sure, you should.
So
It's yours.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. What I'm saying is this is my right in my head. This is what I think. And I'm not saying you have to agree, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying you have to disagree, and I'm not saying it's wrong. But I'm saying this is my view on it, and in my head, this is my truth. So
exactly. There you go.
I don't care what you want to tell me. This is how I view a situation, and this is my take on it. Now, I think that's why I have people that don't like me, and that's why I think I have the following that I have. because I will speak what's on my mind, and I will be very respectful when I'm speaking on certain topics. But if somebody asks me a question about, whether it's transgender or it's about ethnicity or it's about religion or it's about bodybuilding, I'm going to answer it. And I know I'm going to get slack no matter which way I answer it, but I'm going to answer it the way I would answer it if one of my buddies asked me behind a closed door. Because I think that's I think the reason why social media for some is not really that good is because I think a lot of people perceive a false reality and a false image of. I think a lot of people post pictures and sayings and quotes about the person that they wish they were.
It totally makes sense. I think people, their intent to be a certain way, they want to project a particular persona, and they really like that. They would really like to aspire to be like that, but in reality, they're just as much of a dick as everybody else. It's like, or just as negative, or just as whatever. And I get it. But I actually find it refreshing to be able to talk. I've always liked you. I always thought you were a really great guy, and you're always very honest and sincere and authentic, and I value authenticity. I don't care if I don't have to agree with everybody, and everybody doesn't agree with me, but I'm not going to dislike somebody because I don't agree with all their viewpoints. That's okay, right?
I had a girl, like, funny, like I had a girlfriend that was into the meditating and like healing crystals. And,
right.
And I like she tried to get me into it, and I'm like, listen, and I was like. I wear a cross around my neck. So that's like my healing crystal, right?
Right.
And I pray before I go to bed. I go to church. I'm like, that's my quote unquote meditation. Like, to me, like if you're a Catholic and you go to church and you pray, then to me, it's like you don't do that because that's like another religion. Right. I'm like, I don't believe in that. I've sat with my legs crossed and nothing happens. I didn't feel anything shocking through my body. I didn't breathe better. I didn't fucking grow taller. So I don't need to carry stones with me wherever I go. I don't need my house to smell like burnt sage. I'm good wearing a cross around my neck, saying Father, Son, Holy Spirit, saying my prayer, going to church. Like, that's how I grew up. I don't believe in that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying keep it the fuck away from me.
It's not my shit. It's not my stuff.
Yeah, it's not my jam. You know? Like, cool. Like, I get why somebody could be attracted to that, but it's like some guys like blonde and blue eyed and some guys like brunette. Well, if you like blonde and blue eyes, I'm like, oh, well, that's a brunette. Keep it the fuck out of here. You know? That's not my thing. It's not my speed.
I can appreciate. The last thing you want to do is you want to hear from somebody some neutered down version of what they really believe. So I like hearing the unadulterated version of how you really feel about something. It's like that kind of honesty is rare in the world.
Because I one thing I'm not, and I've said this before, I'm an empathetic person, meaning I will empathize with somebody, but I will never empathize with somebody if I've never been in a situation. If somebody's mother passed away and they're like, yeah, my mom passed away, you will never hear me say, man, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Or say, oh man, I know what you're going through.
Yeah, because you don't.
Now, is your mother still around? Yes. Then you have no fucking clue. So don't say that. So the thing with the meditation, like I can't connect with it, so I don't understand it, which is why I don't get it. So I won't bash it because I can't empathize with it because I don't understand it because it doesn't mesh with who I am as a person.
Sure, right.
So I don't think it's wrong, but it's just not something that I do, and it's not something if I had kids that I would want them to do or teach them.
Whatever happened to her? Did she just kind of? I'm just curious. That girlfriend with the crystals.
He just kind of.
You're like, okay, go meditate over there.
Yeah. She's probably she's an industry. I'm sure she's.
That's okay. That's right. But I actually did. Yeah, I think I'm a big believer in being open enough to allow everyone to have their own perspectives, and your own truths. And if it has power for you in your life and it's working for you, fucking use it. It doesn't matter what it is, right? So I really, but also what I don't like is when people try to
I'm gonna come at you with a question after this.
They try to force their beliefs on you, and they try to say, and they want to convince you, and they take offense that you don't hold the same viewpoints. And I feel like that's sort of why do you care so much what I believe?
Yeah,
it's like, what were you gonna say? What is it that you're?
I want to know because this actually came up when I was in Columbus. Oh. You were saying about forcing the truth, and people want to like the people want their own truth, but I think people. Their own truth can be very fucking on cloud nine.
Absolutely.
I was in. Well, I mean, I'm not offending you. This is something like again I can't empathize with. I was at Bear Burger.
Oh, I was there too. Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah. No. But go ahead. What are you going to say?
Have to go take a piss.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, you went to go take a piss, and you went to go. The first bathroom door you go up to, it says whichever. And
right.
You're like, go to the next door, it says whichever. And then you stare at it, and it has half of a guy and half of a girl, meaning it's like a neutral bathroom.
Oh, unisex, right.
And I'm like, if you pull the Y, if you have X chromosomes or X, like Y, like you're either a girl or you're like, I can't, like, that part of my life, I can't. And I want to understand it, but I can't. I don't know.
What's the part that what's the part that's confusing for you? I guess I'm not.
If you're because you have to have certain chromosomes X and Y, right?
Right, correct.
To be a guy or a girl.
Right.
So you are either a guy or a girl.
Genetically, yes.
So that's why I don't understand the whole like
the ambiguous nature of some people's sexual.
I don't understand like the woman in Canada who had a kid who said that on the birth certificate she put neutral because she wanted the kid to decide what he was or what it was when it got older.
Okay, that's a little strange.
I'm not saying like gays. I don't understand how you cannot know what you are.
Well,
you have a baby and it comes out with a penis.
Right, it's a boy.
It's blood. It's a boy.
I figured let him figure all that
thing. Like what's just like United Airlines just started something. It's Mr. MR, Mrs. MRS, and then you could be non-binary, which is MX.
MX, okay. Is that they better talk to DMX then?
Yeah, I'll never understand. I don't know.
I think they're trying to be, in the age that we live today, we're trying to be so politically correct, so sort of gender neutral, so sort of accommodating to everything that.
I think you try to accommodate everybody, it causes a lot of fucking problems.
Confusion and ambiguity, and it's okay to like I think it's okay to call somebody a guy or a boy or a girl or a male or a female, and then if they decide later, man, you want to change your sick name, man, it's up to you, man. I don't really care what you decide you want to be, but and if you feel like a girl, I thought it was funny. I saw the one lady, I forget her name. She made national news. She's a white lady. She felt like she was black. And so she said she identified with being black. And so she says she insisted everybody refer to her as
see, okay, okay, that's more along the lines of like, I think that shit is fucking absolutely absurd.
Absurd. In her case, it's totally absurd.
Huh? Nobody on the face of this earth can tell me that is okay.
So to me, I found it to be
that should be put in a hospital or fucking given or euthanized because they're fucking.
Well, yeah, it's like, and she obviously looks white. She looks very white, but so I'm like going, why? There's obviously, I think, some emotional issues going on. That's what I think, but
I think a lot of it's like listen, just like it's so hard because I get on these topics and I say things and people take me like 100% literal, and I am a very literal person. But like I had this conversation the other day, and I'm not downplaying what I'm about to say. I think mental health is a big problem. I think a lot of people have some serious mental issues. In the same breath, I also think that a lot of people use it as an excuse and a crutch. Because I'm only 37. I never heard of any mental anything my entire life up until the last like 5 to 8 years. So people couldn't just all of a sudden started becoming mentally ill. I think there's just mentally ill people out there, and then I think there are people that want to get away with the easy road, and they say, "Oh, like there's a kid at my gym. I'm not going to say his name, but he said he has like depression when it's like winter season. It's like called seasonal depression.
Yeah, seasonal affect disorder.
And the kid's like 19, and I looked at him the other day. I go, "You're a fucking idiot." You're 20 years old. You're depressed. Go bang 3 girls on a weekend. Like at 20 years old. Like, stop. Seasonal depression, bro. You're 20 years old. You're a good-looking guy. Get your fucking head out of your ass. That's how I talk about it.
Well, I think some people need that kind of advice, to be perfectly honest.
Depressed because it's just snow? Like, what? Like, you're a fucking, you got a cock and balls. Like, grab them and grow up a little bit. Like, I that shit to me is ridiculous. People are gonna hate me for, but
nah. You're entitled to your opinion. I think there's a lot of truth in the fact that I think people do make a lot out of some things because they think they can. People definitely take advantage of certain situations if they think it'll benefit them. And everyone's always, it seems to me there's a certain sector of people that look for the loopholes, so to speak, that look for those little catches where they could, whether it be cheating the government out of some money, or whether it be trying to get us taking an inch, or give you an inch, you take a mile, kind of a thing. It's like, kind of a thing. It's like
you give a person you give a person a rope and they try to be a cowboy.
Yeah, well, that's so it's interesting, but it is kind of like there is definitely I definitely have, I forgot what my girlfriend called it. It's a seasonal affect disorder, but it's because there's a particular name for it, and where if you have darker skin complexion like me, you need more sunlight. You need a little bit more sunlight to process. Yeah. So I get chronic low vitamin D levels if I don't take extra vitamin D, and if I get that way, then I will get when there's not as much sun, I will absolutely feel it.
I'm vitamin D deficient, so I get it. But,
I mean, I'm not going to shoot myself, and I'm not going to complain about it.
So now, if that kid lived in Sweden, where in Sweden when it's winter in Sweden, they maybe get about 20 minutes of sunlight a day,
or Alaska, maybe none.
But Sweden's suicide rate in the winter is through the roof.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, it's absurd. Yeah, because they don't get a lot of sunlight. So I can get if like all year round you don't get a lot of sunlight, and It's like, but see, for me, like I'm home and my blinds are usually always fucking shut. And the dark doesn't make me depressed. It makes me tired. Like, I'm like,
you're like, oh yeah, go to bed now. Melatonin. Yeah.
So listen. I'm sure I have my own fucking mental problems, but
I think we all have our own mental problems. It's just
listen, if you're a bodybuilder, you squat fucking 600 pounds for reps, and you fucking screaming and blowing fucking shoulders out and discs, and walking with crutches and in a wheelchair because you trained like a fucking maniac. You got to be a little crazy.
Got to be a little nutty.
You probably don't want to meet some of these guys, one-on-one and piss them off.
Right. Exactly. Well, I will say this, that the bodybuilding world, the fitness world is filled with a lot of interesting characters, a lot of wonderful people, but also a lot of interesting characters. And you got to take people with a grain of salt sometimes, right? Now, I've been trying to find a unique way to some cool questions. Like I have 2 questions I'm going to ask you. I'm going to start asking everybody these questions. So you're the second person that I'm going to ask these questions to. I asked Brian yesterday when I interviewed him, and so this is the 2 questions.
It's going to be like Family Feud where I got to just rattle off first thing that comes to my
head. No. It's like just 2 questions. The first question is what, and they're easy. Everyone can answer, right?
Dude, I love stuff like this because when you do stuff like this, it's organic, and people have to give you an answer on the spot.
Right, exactly. What is your biggest challenge or fear in this life that you feel at this moment in your life or in your life as a whole?
My biggest challenge. My biggest challenge. I have a big problem with. I always try to fix everybody and everything. I try to be like a healer. Like if somebody needs money, I'll give them money. Right. If I'm friends with like addiction problems, I try to sober them up. I've had problems with drinking. It's just I always think I can help everybody, and then the more I've gotten let down, the more I've kind of realized that I'm not Mother Teresa or Jesus Christ, and I can't heal it.
Now, did you do that with your relationships? Because I found myself doing that in relationships that I wanted to be the guy who fixed them. My mother would tell me, you can't fix them all, Tad.
My buddy said something to me today, and it was actually dead on. He goes, the problem you have with relationships, he's like, you find these relationships and you know they're bad, but you find the littlest glimpse of hope and you hold on to it until like there's literally, and I do. Like there's relationships I've been in that I should have fucking ended a year and a half ago, and then I'm still holding on, and like I'll sit here and go, what the fuck am I doing? And I know I shouldn't be in it, but I have a problem just letting that go. It's weird.
Well, do you think that do you think that's because you want to try to fix it, or you think you could? Oh, if I can just work hard enough, because you have a strong work ethic.
I have a skewed view of like people will change.
Oh,
okay. When people go, oh, like you can't change somebody. I feel like you can, but they have to like. I've had relationships where like I'm okay in a disagreement if I can see and understand where you're coming from.
Right.
But if I can't even get on the same fucking, let alone if I can't get on the same page as you, let alone on the same line, like there's a problem. If you're saying something to me and I'm like, I'm like, what, like that sounds sane to you, like, But yeah, I've held on to a lot of relationships, a lot that I should have never held on to, bad ones. Yeah.
Well, so that's your biggest challenge is...
My biggest challenge is, well, you know what it is? My biggest challenge in life is letting go of people in my life, friends, girlfriends, even exes. I have a big problem with like detaching myself from people.
Maybe you're just you're just a hopeful person. You hope for the best. You hope for the best.
I have a very, very hard time letting people go, and people in my life that should not be there. Friends that have burned me, I'm always like, no, but he's a good kid.
I've done the same exact thing, and I've been criticized for it, and I even criticized myself for it.
Yep.
And it's like, man, because I wanted to think the best of people. Right?
I always try to think everybody has good intentions, but I've been Tad. I mean, the older I get, my fucking circle went from like this. So
it seems to be that way, doesn't it? You seem to be.
Yeah. Somebody once told me you'll die with 3 best friends.
I've heard that if you can have 3 like that you can really count on, you're in good shape. As a matter of fact, I read a study about happiness, and they said that this one of the keys to they found that in people who are achieving high degrees of happiness in their life and fulfillment in their life, they all had some common traits, and one of them was they had 3 people they can count on in their life. It was their social relationships. Yeah. Okay, the last question. This was almost like an easy one, but compared to that one,
be surprised. Some of the you think are easy questions are probably questions I've never thought about. Like the question you just asked me, I was like, fuck.
What do you today at this stage in your life? What do you feel in your heart is your biggest blessing?
My biggest blessing. I have to say that I think my biggest blessing is becoming a professional bodybuilder. And I say becoming a professional bodybuilder because I think I became that because I worked for it. But I'm not saying the bodybuilding thing is what a blessing. I think the platform that bodybuilding gave me, I have absurd amount of messages from fans telling me I saved their life. Watching my motivational video, got them off the couch. They were 400 pounds. They lost 200 pounds. They were suicidal. You saved my life. We watched your Arnold Classic routine overseas in the military when we were, stationed there. Like shit like that to me. I don't want to say I'm not saying bodybuilding changed my life, but what bodybuilding gave me as a platform to be looked up to by people that shouldn't look up to me, like military men and women. I tell them all the time, and they message me. They're like, "Dude, you're a motivation." I'm like, I am not a motivation to people like you guys that are on the front line serving for. You guys are the hero, not me. But just to have people that's this daily basis. I mean, I one thing that I pride myself on, I get back to every single person that DMs me, unless it's like a dick pic or like a porn site. But that me to know if I died tomorrow, I won 6 pro shows. I never won an Olympia. I never won an Arnold. But I would be okay knowing that I know somewhere along the line that I changed a lot of people's lives, and I'm okay with that.
What do you think the reason is for that? What do you think why you resonate with people? Because you do resonate with people over and over and over. I've been told when I talk about you in the industry, people go, "Oh yeah, he's a good guy." They like you. Fans like you. You resonate with people. What do you think it is that resonates?
I stay true to who I am on and off camera.
Okay.
I can pick out fake fucking talk and fake speeches like Machiavelli, that guy I'm sure you follow, Machiavelli Motivation on Instagram.
Yeah.
I can pick out scripted shit like nobody else. I hear those as soon I can hear scripted motivation, and I fucking hate that. Like, you're gonna be motivational to somebody, it should be
come from the heart.
It should be from your heart. It
right.
shouldn't be thought about. It should be quick. That's like when I do interviews, it shows you've interviewed me before. People go, hey, all right, this is what I'm gonna like. Don't even tell me what you're gonna ask. Just ask it.
right.
Like, think about it. Then I'm gonna stumble and I'm gonna say something and I'm gonna try to have it sound better. So just save your questions, ask me on the spot, and let me roll with it. That's how I like to do it. That's why people feel like they can message me, because they see how I am. They're like, wow, he said that? He's an honest person. Let me message him, and I want to ask him a question, see what he says. You know, because I think I'm very organic with my fans. I let them into my life. You know, I've had relationships where the girls are like, you spend so much time on your phone with your fans, and I'm like, you know, my fucking that's what I got to where I am and have the fans that I have. I have all these fans, and I gained all these fans over the years to what? Not interact with them.
Right. Well, yeah, they're adding value. You're adding value. It's synergistic, right? I mean, I totally agree. But I think you're probably right. I think you're absolutely right that the people who seem to come across the most honest and who have a true work ethic, people respect those things. They like those things, even if they don't have them. They like them.
People will always respect a blue collar worker.
Yes, because I think that's what makes Branch sort of why he resonates with people is that he has a very, very hard work ethic, and I even told him this a couple of years ago. I said, hey man, because I was never a big fan of his when he was competing in terms of his physique. I liked him as a person, but I wasn't really a huge, because he's a little blocky. But I became a fan of his as his physique over a couple of years, and then then he retires, and then he came to the Arnold, and he had a smile on his face, and he said, "I'm like, hey man, you're like here." He's like, yeah man, I can fucking relax. He's like, this is the happiest Arnold I've ever been at. I said, and so I shared that story with him, and he's like, oh okay. And I was like, you know, I became a fan of yours, my friend, because of not only your work ethic but your honesty, and you're just a good dude. You know, I like that when I talk to him and I talk to you, I know what I'm talking to. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm not getting the facade.
I don't understand why there's so much hate. Like, I don't want to say just I hate saying in the sport, because I'm sure it's in every sport.
Right,
and
right.
But like, I've had people message me to kill myself.
What?
Wow. Suck. Like, I hope I fucking see you at it. You know, here, I'm going to fuck you up. Like, even still alive, you're a piece of shit. But like, I'm like, really, like, like, what have I done? Like, did I beat your mother? Did I fucking kill your dog? Like, did I?
I don't get that at all.
I was younger. Like, unless somebody does something to a lot of the hate, I don't even think it's hate. I think it's just done for attention, because I literally look back and I'm like, man, if people knew how much I did for other people, like, they would feel like complete dog shit ever saying a word from me, because people think because I'm a pro bodybuilder, we're millionaires. Like, far from it. And the amount of money I've given to people and charities and helping, people that need it, like the people that, hate you, it's like, if they actually fucking knew you as a person,
you're right,
fucking beyond, like.
Well, most of those people who throw that hate at you, if they actually walked up to you in person, they wouldn't even say anything.
I pray for the day. Pray for the day that somebody that talks all that shit at a show comes up, because I'll be like this. I'm just gonna fucking get disqualified right now. And I'm like, let's go in the fucking parking lot, because I'm just gonna start a live feed and beat the shit out of you. Because that's kind of like, that's what, like, there's no need for that kind of hate. There's no. And if you're gonna do that, you deserve to get the shit kicked out of you.
Hey man, you
like, I'll never forget, I was at an Arnold or an Olympia one year, and I saw Kai taking pictures with a lot of people, and somebody snuck in line, took a picture with Kai, and as the fucking camera snapped, he held up a grapefruit, and that fucking photo was all over the internet. And I was like, if that was me and I saw that, I would have fucking take that grapefruit and I would have punched it down his fucking throat. That's how I am. Like, and you know what? If I did that, my dad would have fucking bailed me out of jumping. I'm glad you fucking did it. That's how I was raised.
Well, I think people, I've always said it before, you get what you give in this life, and if you're going to be a dork, then expect to get it back from people. You're going to get, like, hey man, can't go out there and spewing forth this kind of stuff and not expect someone to want to retaliate or want to give it right back to you. Well, hey man, hey Guy, I know you got to get to some food, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I love you, man. You're awesome, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and you now can go play with your dogs a little bit. They're getting jealous. Stay on the line here real quick after I stop recording, but I wanted to say thank you. Tell everybody where they can sort of reach you on social media or anywhere else.
My social media handles are all the same: Instagram, Twitter. It's just at Guy Cisternino. Facebook fan page ifbb pro Guy Cisternino. Email gcis40@hotmail. All my info's on my Instagram page. All my links, and you go to guyscisternino.com. You can always use my emails there too. That's pretty much that's all my contact info.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you either at the New York Pro or at Tampa or wherever in between you may decide to place yourself. I'm sure you're going to do good, and I'll be rooting for you, of course. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you at the Olympia this year, of course.
That's the fucking plan, man. I'm too old to be for all these shows. It's like one show win and
well, I'm sure you'll make it, because with your work ethic, all you got to do is put it in your mind, and you'll get there. I know it. You'll drive yourself there.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you again, my friend. Thank you.
Handle your high with Tadayoshi.